My name's Kent, I'm with the Mopit company, and today we're going to review the Tennant CS5. Tennant is the largest floor scrubber manufacturer in the world, and they turn out some great products. We purchased this CS5 brand new specifically for this review, so we're dealing with a brand new machine here. There's a lot to like about this machine. Probably the number one thing to like about it is the price. MSRP on this machine is $3,017, and so it's very affordable and one of the lowest priced machines in its class. Let me walk you around the machine a little bit here. The controls for the CS5 are really intuitive. You've got your adjustment for the handlebar right here. You also have this, which raises or lowers your front squeegee blade so you can pick up in reverse. Your power button is right here, which will turn on your display. You got your battery gauge. You've got your water, which you can adjust the flow rate. You've got your brush and your vacuum, and then eco mode, which saves your battery life and your water. So it's really easy. And then to activate everything, all you do is push this in, and it starts going. So really, really easy, intuitive controls. And one of the other nice things about this is its ease of storage. So with the handle that moves so easily, you can tip it all the way forward, so it's really compact, and then it's got a carrying handle as well. You can pack it up and put it in a car or wherever you need to take it. Another nice thing that they've thought out really well is transport. So for transport, you can just adjust the handlebar up, and then you tip it back like an upright vacuum and move it around. And so really compact, really simple to use, and you can tell they've put a lot of effort into the design. And this machine is designed in Italy, and Italy, they have a lot of expertise in the floor cleaning and cleaning industry in general. All right, let me show you the battery on this machine. It's really easy to pull in and out. It's a 36-volt system, which is really unique for this class of floor scrubber. Most floor scrubbers in this class are 12 or more commonly 24 volt. One of the nice things about this battery, this is where you charge it, and you can charge it while it's in the machine or off-board. You have this off-board battery charger here, and you just plug it into this port right here. If I can grab the cord, just plug it into the port right here. And then you've got an indicator light as well that goes green when it's charged. This battery is fully charged. And so just slides right into that pocket and makes it pretty easy. One thing I like to see in floor scrubbers is a squeegee lift, which allows you to double scrub, meaning leaving the solution on the floor and making multiple passes without sucking it up. Dwell time of the floor solution on the floor is a huge factor in cleaning quality. With this one, you do have a squeegee lift. This lifts up your main back squeegee, and so you can do double scrubbing. This one, like I mentioned before, also has pickup in reverse. So this thing right here lowers the front squeegee, switches the suction to the front squeegee, and lifts the back squeegee so you can pull it backwards and recover the solution. I'll show you how the mechanicals on that work in a second. But this does offer double scrubbing, and you can turn off the vacuum while you're doing it to save battery power. All right, here is the brush on the CS5. It's really easy to remove. You just spin it like that, and it'll come right off. This brush has a nice feature. You can see this red tuft here. That's a wear indicator. So after the rest of the black bristles wear down and become even with the red one, you know that the brush is worn out and it's time to replace it. Right up in this hole is where there's a little elbow there where all of the water comes out and then comes through the hole onto the floor. So that's where the fresh water is dispensed. And then you've also got, right here, there's this black box. Inside it, there's some foam, and that is the vent for your vacuum motor. And so that's where the water comes out when it gets sucked through those floats. This foam will get really wet, and you'll start seeing drips down here behind where the squeegee bar is. One of the good things about the CS5 is they are using Linatex rubber, which is terrific. It is quite thin. I believe it's a 1/16 of an inch thin, so it's thin rubber. A lot of these scrubbers like this are starting to go a 1/16 inch because then they don't have to spring load the squeegees as much to get the deflection, to get the squeegee to bend right on the floor. But it's pretty simple underneath. Now we'll talk about the water system. This is where you add your fresh water and your soap, and then this is your recovery tank. Now you can add your fresh water with a hose without taking the tank off, but in order to drain the dirty water, you have to take the tank off. Most people, I've found, pull this tank off and just fill it under a sink. So to do that, you just have these yellow tabs that you pop in, and then this one lifts off first, and then there's your fresh water tank that comes off. So you can take it under a sink to fill it. When you're ready to, if you ever need to drain this fresh water tank, you can just pop this off and tip it over a sink or a toilet, or you can just push your finger in this check valve and it'll drain right out that way. To drain your dirty water tank, you've got this port here you can pop out and dump out over a drain or a toilet, or you can pop this off and just tip it out through this big opening. So it's pretty versatile on filling and draining. Let's look at some of the mechanicals on this machine. First off, you'll notice that these hoses are really, really small. These are your hoses coming from the squeegee blades, from the squeegee bars. Hoses that small are going to get clogged really easily. And so that's one of the things that I'm unimpressed with on this machine. And both of them are the same size. They tend to be a lot smaller when you're splitting suction between, when you can pick up in forward and reverse. However, the method they use to switch suction from the rear to the front squeegee is really ingenious. All the controls are cable, and so here you can see the cables coming down here. Everything is cable operated, including the squeegee lift and this thing as well, the handlebar adjustment. But to adjust the squeegee suction, inside here, they've got an interesting little paddle that switches the suction from one hose to the other, which is really ingenious. It does tend to get really dirty in there. It's going to be definitely a maintenance item you have to spray and wash out so you keep your suction strong. The other thing I've noticed as I've gone through this machine is almost all of the fasteners are screwed right into plastic. For example, if we pull this screw out here, it's going into a plastic port, and so very few fasteners actually go into metal, which these definitely tend to be the less durable way. You'd like to see it go into metal or into a metal insert that's molded into the plastic. Everything is just fastened into other plastic for the most part, which is a durability concern. You've got your water lines here, which are small but sufficient. This is your brush motor for spinning the brush. You've got a couple of other filters here. You've got this one, which is for your suction that may occasionally need to be cleaned. You also have this one for your water, where your water tank empties into the hose. So be aware of that. Now, when you're changing your front squeegee, you do it with these knobs. So you just untwist these knobs, and then the squeegee can pull out from underneath. And so I can show you how to do the squeegee replacements next. You got two of these knobs, one here and one here for the front squeegee, and I'll show you the other one. All right, to replace the squeegee blades, it's not too bad. You've got these two knobs on the upper side of the rear squeegee, or the squeegee used to pick up and reverse. Those are the knobs. And then usually you can just pop this out, especially if you can get that hose off. And then you can pull out, if you grab the rubber, you can pull out the insert and replace the blades. They are not reversible because the cutouts are a little off center. You can't reverse them. You just pop those off the tabs and then slide it back on. It can be a little tricky getting the rubber back into the body of the squeegee because it's so grippy. Sometimes it can help to get it wet, but I think we'll be able to get it in. Here we go. Put that back on. You need to make sure you don't lose the lock washers. They go on first, and then you put the knob back on. And then you're ready to go with new squeegee blades. Now the bottom one, you can do all from the back. It's the same two knobs. You just do on the back side here. There comes one. Yeah, if I can find it. Here comes the other. I found this one to be easier just to pull out the insert and leave the body attached. So pop it out like that, and it's the same procedure. And so you just pop these off the tabs. Again, they're not reversible on this one either. Slide them back on the tabs after the new one on the tabs, and then pop it back into the body and do the knobs. And that's how you replace the squeegee. Sometimes it helps to make sure you push the bolt in so you've got enough of the bolt sticking through to attach the knobs. Okay, all right. One of the interesting things about the CS5 is that the freshwater tank and the recovery tank are the same size. The reason why that's a problem is because you have soap in the freshwater tank, and as the machine puts down the soap and scrubs and then recovers it, it creates quite a bit of foam. And so you actually need more capacity in the recovery tank to prevent issues. What happens is, because it's the same size in the CS5, the vacuum starts sucking foam through the motor and it can damage it. To prevent that from happening, they have these suction floats that are meant to shut off the suction so foam won't go through the motor. There are these plastic floats here that float on the water, and then you've got an O-ring behind, and as they come up, they seal. The trouble is they don't seal well, and so with every tank that I used the CS5 on, I was getting foam through the motor, and it's just going to cause your motor to fail quicker. Because you'll likely be replacing the vacuum motor in this machine frequently, I'm going to show you how to do it right now. Now here's your vacuum motor. I found it easiest if you pop off this back cover, which has foam for sound deadening. And then you press this out from the front. And there's your little 36-volt vacuum motor. It's one of the most unique ways of mounting I've seen. There's really no brackets that hold it in other than this keeps it in place, but it's just this rubber grommet type material that makes it a tight fit into this round channel. You've also got all the venting in here that vents the air. It's very, very unique vacuum motor system. Installation is just the reverse. The tricky part when you're replacing it is getting the grommet to stay on the vacuum as you slide it back in. Again, you got to be really careful you don't over tighten these where these screws are going into plastic. It's really easy to strip out the screws on this machine. This cable goes in this middle cutout right here. Make sure that is our squeegee. Make sure that squeegee is still easy to lift.
All right.
All right, let's watch this machine in action and see how it does. It's really pretty quiet when you're using it. One thing I find, especially when the floor is a little wet, it tends to skid around because it's not a very heavy machine. It's also not as maneuverable because the wheels are in the very back. The turning radius is larger than some other machines. You want to try the pickup in reverse. Do it again. This machine excels at going under things because of its low profile. It doesn't seem to have as good a water recovery in reverse, but it's better than no suction and no squeegee in the front, that's for sure. In reverse, you tend to float more and it tends to slide around. You want to try the double scrub. Turn off your vacuum. The other thing is this button here is really sensitive. Sometimes you inadvertently let off a little and it shuts off on you. It's kind of a pain to hold down. And pick everything up. Water recovery is decent. It does leave water on turns, but not a terrible amount. All right, those are some of the basics. Here are the specs for the Tennant CS5. Cleaning path, 11 inches. Fresh water capacity, 1.3 gallons. Recovery tank capacity, 1.3 gallons. Gallons per minute flow rate on the highest flow rate setting, 0.052 gallons per minute. It lasts for 23.5 minutes between fill-ups on the highest flow rate. The brush speed is 160 RPMs. Square feet per hour cleaning is 10,505. Vac motor stage and voltage. It's a single stage vacuum at 36 volts. Run time is 50 minutes, up to 75 with an optional larger battery. Off-board battery charger. The dry weight of the machine is 43.65. The advertised run time is 45 minutes. The actual run time is 41 minutes. Cost of ownership, the MSRP is $3,017. Squeegee replacement cost is $95 for both the front and the back. The brush replacement cost is $115. The battery replacement is $510. The cost of a battery charger is $117. The Tennant CS5 is a unique machine, especially in its price point. We paid about $2,000 for this machine, even though MSRP is $3,017. So you can get them at a great price. As far as performance, I would say it's average. As far as predicted longevity and durability, I would say it's below average. But that's what you get in this price point. You get a machine that works, that may not last quite as long as some other more expensive machines. It is exciting in its price point. I would say the biggest pro of using the Tennant CS5 is the price. The biggest con is reliability and durability. This machine will shine with light use, but if you're going to use it in a heavy-duty commercial environment, it's likely not the right fit for you. This machine has been designed to be serviced by technicians. If you Google it or if you search on YouTube, there's not many videos that show you how to do service. And so the plus side is Tennant, as the largest floor scrubber company in the world, they do have readily available parts and service technicians that can work on it. That wraps up our review of the Tennant CS5. If you'd like to see more reviews like this, visit scrubberreviews.com, and we've got more floor scrubber reviews on the way.